Hey guys, it's Megan Aller, Sales Executive with First American Title in Metro Denver. We're so excited to come back to you with our Greater Metro Denver market review for April of 2019. This one's going to cover just the detached market, so let's jump right into it. As you know, our market really took off as we went into April. We've had a really big delay of new listing inventory coming to market. As you know, we've been enjoying snow nearly every weekend. And unfortunately, when it snows as consistently as it has, what a lot of sellers choose to do is delay having their listing photos taken, because oftentimes it can be a dead giveaway as to how long that listing has been on the market. So with shallow inventory coming into market in Metro Denver, we were actually down 6% in terms of active inventory year over year for the same year 1 month ago. Unfortunately, since we had that big dip in active inventory, we didn't have enough listings out there for buyers to make offers on, and so our under contracts actually dipped by 8.5% from where we were 1 year ago, which is really kind of a bummer, because it's not because the buyers were shrinking, it's because they didn't have the opportunity to make offers on non-existing inventory. Now, our closed transactions really ended up popping up pretty high, which was great because we did have a very strong and solid February that resulted in a lot of great closings that happened in March. Now, for those transactions, we actually saw a 38% increase month over month, indicating that our buyer pool was getting really active earlier into the year. Now, looking forward as we go into May, we do have that nice pop of new listing inventory that hit the market in May. And keep in mind that in May, this is where really the rubber meets the road, and we have the most number of units going under contract in May out of all of the months in our entire annual cycle. So hang on tight. We've probably got about 4 to 6 weeks left of this really incredibly strong seller's market. Now, keep in mind, when we're looking at our market cycle, we've had the same cycle repeat itself for 6 years prior to this. This is year 7 going into a compressed market where we have more units going under contract than we have homes to sell those folks. Unfortunately, it's compounded by, again, that lack of inventory coming to market due to the inclement weather patterns that we've experienced here in Metro Denver. Now, with that big pop of new listings coming into the market, looking forward into May, hopefully that pent-up buyer pool will have an opportunity to put more units under contract. Unfortunately, what's happened in the meantime is that our average sales prices were forced upwards because that buyer pool ended up having to make multiple offers, competing offer situations in order to win their home. Now, looking from March to April, historically in this market cycle, we would see about a 3.3% increase in our average sales price. We came in with a huge jump at 4.5% just from that one transitional month from March to April. Now, looking forward as we go into May and June, we only see about another 1.5% increase each one of those months as we peak out for those closed transactions in June. Now, stay tuned over the forthcoming weeks, because we'll actually start talking about how the tide will change and how you have to change your strategy going into those summer months to adjust for the fact that we have rising inventory and shrinking demand at that point in the year. Now, keep in mind that we've been almost dead on pace with what exactly we thought those average sales prices would come in at. We had projected out our average sales price to be at $538,000. When we published our initial report back in January of this year, we came in at $540,000 and change. So everything's happening exactly as we anticipated it to. If we stay on pace, we'll continue to see those prices rise as a result of the units going under contract in April, closing in May. We should be around $545,000, peaking out with those transactions that went under contract in May, closing in June. We should see about $550,000 to $555,000. Now, we've already crossed over into sales price records this year, but it's not quite going up as high, as fast as what we had seen in years past. So we're staying on that trend of a slightly less good seller's market in 2019. Market's still incredibly strong, just not quite as strong as what we saw in 2017 and 2018. Now, we are also right on pace with median days on market. Going forward into the next 2 months, we are expecting to see that half of the homes are under contract in 7 days or less, just as we've seen for the last 6 years in a row. Now, April was right on pace, again, 7 median days to contract, and so that means that you have to be incredibly cautious about the weekends in which you choose to list your properties. Keep in mind your holiday weekend effect. If you have listings that are coming to market over Mother's Day weekend, typically 22% fewer units go under contract in that particular weekend. That third weekend in May represents the second busiest weekend for contracts being accepted in the entire annual cycle, and then the weekend following following that, we have Memorial Weekend. Not a great time to list. 60% fewer contracts are typically accepted over that particular weekend. But for your buyers that have been stuck trying to make offers and have not been competitive enough to win, great time to try and take them out. Okay, so get those buyers out there. That's it for your Greater Metro Denver update for April. I hope that you'll stay tuned for next week. We'll be talking about our attached market and how that market looks a little bit different than what we're seeing in the detached markets. I certainly hope that if we're able to help you be more successful working with your buyers and sellers, that we'll have the opportunity to meet them at our closing tables. We'll see you next week.